Or come on now. Y'all already know what this is, man. First things first, God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We got the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive, and we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. That's the Heartbreak Prince himself.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. He's here. Come on now.
He's here. Man, look, I ain't going to lie. This week at WWE, man, it's a little bit of ups and downs, man. I'd be capping if I said Monday had me like, oh, yeah, because, yeah. Tuesday, I was okay until Sean, you're playing with my emotions, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna talk about that. And then SmackDown, the best part of the end of the week, where I feel like they gave me some hope, but not too much. You can't expect much, but we're gonna see, man. But let's go ahead and kick it off because we're gonna start this off with a 2 hours and 30 minutes of fire. Monday Night Raw, baby. Monday Night Raw, man. Monday Night Raw. Look, I ain't gonna lie, man. It's just a few things, man. I just be sick of, but let's just talk about how they kicked this off because immediately I was instantly sick to my stomach when I seen this. Starting off, man. That's just
Look at the kid
I
in the back.
like, come on, bro. I can't with this. We starting it off, of course. Jimmy and Jey Uso yeeting it up. Had the vision. Paul Heyman immediately, and I agree with him. He said, please cut the damn music. Of course, everybody's trying to find out who's this masked man, talking about the masked man. My man, LA Knight, came out, gave a hell of a promo, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, of course, this set up a six-man tag match with LA Knight and the Usos going up against the Vision. And honestly, I don't even know why we did this at this point because still, that man, the Bronson Tsunami Reed, getting the dub. Oh, and again, I don't know. But after Logan Paul started kind of saying some stuff, he grabbed the mic from Michael Cole, started talking on commentary, and then we got the Masked Man. Oh man, the Masked Man. I don't know, man. Just
Who is this nigga?
I can't with this, man. I legitimately can't, bro. This is I'm so sick of this. I'm really just like, what more? What more? And then you tease that you might want to take off the mask, and then you don't. Florida.
Damn.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm just so done with this, bro. This is killing me, man. I just, you know what? Yeah, chaos.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
Legit. Y'all, I can't keep doing this with y'all, bro. I really can't. I can't. I cannot. I can't. I've been saying this before. I am sick of this masked man shenanigans. All right, now I seen some stuff on TikTok. Somebody was right next to the masked man. They was like, "Oh yeah, it's definitely Seth." You seen him laughing. You can obviously see like a little black lining on his eyes, and this isn't Seth. We don't know who this is.
The man's a raccoon.
This is a damn jobber, man. It's just a damn job. It's just a regular job. I'm just sick of this. Let's just God, man. I don't know. I'm done. Like,
Uh,
what I would ask what y'all think, but I feel like y'all probably feel the same way I do with this.
and I don't even care. I don't even care.
Yeah. I
Tired of
just
this dude. They
I'm
say it's
tired of
Grayson
it.
Waller. They say it's Grayson Waller, but that still doesn't make any difference. Like, what is that going to be? Like, who cares? Grayson Waller hasn't been relevant since he made the main roster. Ah,
I just I don't know, man. And
stupid.
then it's like the whole thing with Adam Pierce. I'm just like, man, come on, let's just end this now. Like, what are we?
Right.
I don't know. But let's talk about this next segment, man. I ain't gonna cap. This was actually pretty good. Liv. Liv Morgan, man, having her sit down with, Michael Cole, Dirty Dom, got to be next to and right beside her. Stephanie Von Kier, she comes in. I ain't even gonna lie, man. This was pretty crazy here. Now, the reason why I say this because of stuff she said. Now, at first they said that what she said was so offensive, but she didn't really say nothing. She pretty much just said that WWE handed you everything, and I had to work and grind for it all. I'm the only one that came from Chile, where wrestling didn't even exist. I said, yeah, you right. You right. You 100% right about that. And she said, I hope you choose me because everywhere I went, I've dominated and became a champion. But I hope you choose me because I can show you what a real champion looks like. I ain't gonna lie, it was crazy. I had to live in tears. I said, man, this is wild. This was crazy. Uh, but yeah, and before we kind of get into some other stuff that was going on, we really need to talk about this triple threat match because I ain't even gonna lie, I ain't gonna lie, y'all are killing me with this foolishness here again. We had Natty going up against Asuka, going up against Bayley, right? And we had, which again, I don't know why we did this, but and again, I get it some way, shape, or form. I don't know. I'd be capping if I said I did. We had Oscar winning the triple threat match. Now, I just don't get what is the point? You started this momentum going on with Natty. What am I talking about here? This is the same. We talk about the same guys here. You guys literally sat here. You built this 2, 3 week momentum going up with Natty. I'm like, all right, Natty's in this. This has got to be the time for her to shine. Oscar, she's fooling around with Kyrie, the whole thing with Rhea and Io. That's what made sense to me. You already had Bailey trying to figure it out. So if it wasn't Natty, I'd have been okay with Bailey. But Oscar,
I like Oscar, and the ability in the ring is fantastic. So I won't take that away from her. So I
yeah,
mean, I get if you want somebody in the chamber that's obviously experienced, going to put a great performance in the chamber, but you hit it right on the hammer, man. Like this needed to be Natty. This made no sense for it not to be Natty. Like you've been building her character up over the last couple of weeks, or last month or so, and she's supposed to be this badass, and she's supposed to be this, and she's supposed to be that, and we're starting to really like Natty. Not the Natty that little cookie cutter Natty that they've been giving us, and that fake heel Natty. We were getting Natty, baby. We was getting that heart, baby. We're getting that, and it was starting to feel right. And you said no, we don't want to give it to her. Like it doesn't make sense to me. She should have been in the chamber. It gives a different element, and it also helps the element of surprise because we don't. It's not an automatic on who's gonna win when you put somebody like Natty in. Like the more like this could be anybody. I would rather it feel like it could be any of the six competitors compared to that person makes more sense. Like it starts to like break it down. So Oscar's in there. They're not giving Oscar this title shot. We know that. But if you do Natty, Natty's kind of a surprise. So I'm not a fan of it.
no.
But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I,
felt that actually.
hey, shout out Ashley. Thank you for joining us. We
Hey,
appreciate you.
Ashley.
But it's kind of like I agree with Ashley. To me, Oscar was a given. And again, it doesn't surprise I'm sure any of us when it comes to like WWE and their booking of who wins for the Elimination Chamber. And I wanted to see more for Natty just because of the fact that, like you said, they have been giving her so much, um, attention as of late with the new character, kind of this heelish turn that she's got going on or whatnot. But I don't know. Like with Raw, it's just not the booking and the creative on Raw has just not been to the level of what SmackDown has become. For time here, SmackDown and Raw were running kind of stale, but SmackDown has really found a way to kind of spruce it up. Raw, I just can't quite put my finger on what Raw is doing right now.
They don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what direction they're trying to go. They have the vision going. They're still trying to. I can't really tell if Jey Uso's a tag team or if he's still kind of solo. He's got one foot in the solo realm, but he's part of a tag team. The El Grande Americano thing. They have like the best storyline right now for me that's coming out of Raw, and it's not even like anything like super crazy, but it's Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Like I'm more like into that than any other storyline that they really have going. I know they're trying to build this thing with Finn and CM Punk, but my interest in that is just not there. They, knowing that CM Punk is not going to lose this title,
Right.
before Mania, like I just don't have interest in seeing, this feud. Like I know the match would be great. They don't have anything going, and maybe with Stephanie Vaquer and with Liv Morgan, after last week's promo, maybe that will change. But yeah, but when it comes to Raw, I just don't know what they're doing.
Well, so two things on what you said. Like the first thing, I want to say I think the Liv and Stephanie thing has a lot of potential. I liked what they did in this promo, and it felt authentic. And for the first time in Stephanie's reign, I'm like, okay, finally they're giving her. Other than Raquel, I thought Raquel was a solid challenger. I thought they were building that kind of the right way and didn't give the title to the right person, but that's besides the point. I like what they've been doing with this because I'm like, and like Liv crying, like gave it this extra touch. And Dom being there as Dom was whispering in her ear, and like, she said you suck, and like whatever Dom was saying in her ear, but he was whispering and you can hear. I'm like, this was probably to me was one of the best, if not the top 2 or 3 things that happened on Raw because the way it was done. They need more innovative stuff like that happening. And like I said, it's not even over the top innovative. It's just enough to where Dom's feeding it to her. Obviously, she doesn't understand Spanish, but you can just tell what Stephanie was saying, even though like once we found out in English, it wasn't as bad, but just the way she delivered it, you thought she was calling her everything but a child of God. And so that's the way it felt. But the way Dom just was, she said this. And Dom sold it just by being afraid to even say it. He's like, I don't know if I should be telling her this, but yeah, she said you are the worst, and she doesn't like you, and and that's just like you sold that. Beautifully done. And then with the Finn thing, I think the only thing, and I agree with you, Heartbreak Prince, the only thing that can change this is if when Elimination Chamber comes, Roman Reigns interferes in that match and costs Finn the title. That is the only thing that I can feel like now I'm locked in, because if they're going to give Finn the third person in the Mania, this is the way to do it. He's already been yapping about how he beat Roman and all that stuff like that. This is it. Like this is what you do. So I'm in. That's the only part that intrigues me, but it all depends on what happened next week. Because if that doesn't happen, like you said, I have no interest at all. Like I'm just like, okay, what are you doing?
Now,
what's the plan?
What you said just now, that'd be good. But then again, at the same time, it's the low hanging fruit again from the WWE. Because what motive does Roman Reigns has to interfere in a match to keep Finn Balor from winning? Like what would be his motive? It to come down to the ring and stick his nose in something he hasn't been involved in from the very beginning, other than to make it a 3-way. Like, and that's the type of stuff that happens, that you do, and it's just bad creative. So now you friends can come on and say, Roman Reigns, you interfered in my match, it cost me the title. That is so played out. Like he has no reason, like no motive to interfere. If you just let it play, CM Punk will win. You know what I mean? Like you have to even get involved. You do that when you're trying to interject a Finn story in here, and it's going to be a weak and a story at that. something else I want to get to real quick because Ashley, is hitting on some stuff today. I agree with this. Every week I look at my watch and look at from the time WWE on Monday Night Raw specifically starts, like to the time we see the first match. Like I look at my watch, it'll be 8:16. I'm like, okay, it came on at 8:00. 16 minutes of this first segment was spent with just
Straight
people flapping
talking.
their gums.
Yep.
Straight talking. It has been bad. It's been some weeks where it has gotten to nearly the first half hour. Has just been a feud of talking on the mic between people, and mostly, especially when it's Jey Uso. Most of it, one time I watched, it was like 8:20. He yeeted for 20 minutes before we got any entertainment, like any type of wrestler, any match,
This is
anything.
sad, man.
And you think about other wrestlers that could have been using that time, but that has been a big thing too. They start every week with that. Like, look, start the show hot. Get me in a match right away, and then we can do some backstage segments and stuff like that. That'll help spice it up too. But every week it starts off with at least the first 15 to 25 minutes of the show is going to be some type of, lip flapping. My name is Paul Heyman. We pause it for 10 minutes while the crowd is just, doing their thing, booing, whatever, and it takes forever. And before you know it, it's 25 minutes has gone by and all of that happened just for us to get a mass vigilante in the streets of Raw to come in and interfere at the end of the show. Raw needs to
vigilante streets of
Raw needs to. They got to get it together. They do. Like this is like for weeks now. I've been saying Raw has been mid. Compared to NXT and SmackDown, and I like they have to figure something out. And then Liv, she said Liv is going to go for Stephanie's title after what happened this Monday. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And she said Roman ain't coming to elimination. He told you his dates.
Hey, money. Hey,
Roman,
changes everything, Ashley. Money changes everything.
Roman is on that. He's on that Cena and Brock schedule. But look, I'm not coming to week shows. Look, I'll be there on the big dates.
Look, I get it. You're Roman Reigns, and you know what? It's gonna pop every time. It's gonna pop. Hey, but Streets of Raw sounds like a 1995 Sega game. I was like, "What are you going to do? We're gonna go play Streets of Raw."
Streets of Raw, boy.
Streets of Raw.
Oh man, let's talk about a few of these. So you guys kind of touched on everything with Finn and Punk. We talked about a few things with El Grande and all that foolishness, and with all that, the original Grande Americano. And I ain't gonna lie, man, that wasn't too bad. So even in that's the case, we had Penta beating El Grande, so that is what it is. But we had the man, Becky Lynch, talking with AJ Lee. I'm not even gonna lie, this to me just I don't know what it is, and I think HP Prince, I think you talked about this before. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember AJ Lee sounding like this. It's something about her when she's talking, it is just very cringe to me. I just can't
It is
do it. And I'm like, yo, I just don't remember. Yeah, I just don't remember her sounding like this, talking like this. I'm like, yeah.
Somebody said that she's more author AJ Lee right now, like the author AJ Lee, like the therapist, instead of being the crazy. Like, look, the AJ Lee we know and love, and I'll still pop her when she pop up because that's that's the music, everything that brings back the nostalgia. But the problem is she's not. Portraying herself as the AJ or even somewhere close to the AJ that she was when she left. And I think in order for us to feel the same way, that needs to happen. Like, I mean, I think that's the only way that we fall back in love. She has to go a little psychotic, and she's not that right now. She's like on this redemption tour, like kind of somebody else said it's compared to CM Punk, where it's like Punk's not the same Punk he was. I mean, he still can deliver a great promo, but he's kind of laid back now. He's more of a reserved Punk than he was obviously 10 years ago. And like she's pulling the characteristics of her husband where she's way more reserved than she was 10 years ago. Like we need insane, crazy, psychotic, don't know what she's going to do AJ Lee. And that's what's missing. And then people like her promos, like she's saying stuff and it doesn't sound miserable, but it's just not the AJ Lee that we know and love. And that's the part that's like, come on, we need her. You can't just leave the character and not just be somewhat of it. I mean, you should be like attacking her backstage and rubbing her on her face. I don't know, something.
Something,
Yeah,
bro.
something.
It's
So
just not. And of course, I think Becky's just the best part. To me,
That's
I
it.
just
That's what's saving it for me.
yeah.
100%. Like I like seeing Becky come out and get on the mic and just listen to the stuff she says. But I also feel like AJ Lee has to do a better job of giving her like better mic
she got to set her
skills.
up.
Like,
Like she got
yeah,
to
got to
set her
set
up.
her up a little bit
Yeah.
better. Like, it's very awkward. The stuff she says is very awkward. So it's like, what do you do with that, Beck? Like, if I'm Beck, I'm like, what do I do with that? Like, what do I say to this? Like,
Yeah.
because it's just, I don't know. It's so weird, and it's like I said, it is a little cringe. But Becky saves it for me just because of her reactions and her kind of being over the top, and then of course, I love how she can get every segment into how she's the best, in the world. Sports Center said
Bleacher
it,
Report.
the Bleacher Report, and it's not just me saying it.
ESPN
I
said it.
love that. Like, I don't know why, but
It's-
something about that I just absolutely love each and every week to hear her say it. The minute she says, "Because I'm the best in the world," and it's not just me saying it, I just start laughing. Like,
It's a good tagline.
Yeah, it's just
It
good.
really
Like,
is.
but AJ Lee, her promo stuff is like, it's kind of hard to work with because she's like, so if I beat you,
Bruh, see?
that means that I'm the best. Like, it's just
who
it's
is
so
this,
weird.
a
It's like,
12-year-old?
what are we
I don't
doing
know.
here? Like, what is happening?
I mean, and that's crazy because that is sort of her. Like, if you go back and watch, that's how she delivered her promos. Like, so it's not too far away from it, but it's just what she's saying isn't resonating because it's not the same. But like, she's not portraying herself as what she was. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, she's like a reformed AJ Lee. We don't want that.
Yeah, to
We-
me,
we-
it's giving me that
we
go back to being
2010.
crazy.
We want
It's giving me
crazy
that
AJ Lee.
2010 Raw women's stuff. Like,
Oh,
it's like the
Eve
Bellas,
Torres?
and like when they come out and do their promo, it's like they're trapped in that bubble of what women's promos and wrestling was like back in like the
Like 15 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
yeah. And it's like, no, like, these women out here today, like, look at Stephanie Vaquero. I didn't understand. Look at Stephanie Velcro. I didn't understand a single word she said, but it was almost like I was there, like, oh no, she didn't. Like, oh no, she didn't.
Yeah, it was intense.
That's how I was like, because you could just even her body language, the way she delivered it made me think, oh no, we did these fighting words here, like, and then when I saw Liv start to tear up, I said, oh no, you hurt my baby's feelings. Hey,
It was brilliant.
ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
But yeah, like, I didn't understand a word she said, but it was the body language. It was the delivery, man. Like, like I said, like, that's the thing with Nikki Bella, and when they come out and when AJ Lee, it's like they're trapped in that 2005 to 2015 women's wrestling bubble of how they did promos and did things back then. And it's like, it's not working for me because it's just like, all right, this what is this?
Yeah.
And
I feel that.
She got to go psychotic. I mean, I'm telling you, like, that was her character.
But I'm still interested. I'm still interested in the match because, like I said, Becky has been killing it for me.
She has. Well, I think the best part of Raw, probably this. My man. Come on, OG. The young OG beating Dominic Mysterio and Gunther for the triple threat match to be in the Elimination Chamber. Honestly, again, OG, we proud of you and your son. So I had to text the OG. I said, hey, man, we proud of him. We proud of him. So, yeah, this was probably the best part of the night, in my opinion. It's probably the best match of the night. And again, love to see Jevon, showing up, showing out. Don't matter what any of these old timers got to say. Love how you did what you did. And hopefully, we'll see what happens, man. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if he did win it. But, again, how we know how these commercials go. And how everything's set up, boy. You can't really hope for much. I don't know, man. But yeah, again, great match overall. I think this does kind of set up. I'm not gonna say a setup, but I think seeing Dirty Dom and Jevon in that, in the match together, seeing how they was wrestling, kind of gave me a glimpse of, maybe this could be something we could be seeing for the Intercontinental Championship.
Right.
Like to see Jevon doing that, winning that title. Okay. And again, if you give him the damn title, make it mean something. And I'm not saying just start throwing out open challenges. You ain't got to do that because obviously the open challenge thing has been overly played out at this point. But give him good storylines. Now he's a face. You can put him up against a Braun. You can put him up against Bronson Reed. Hell, you can put him up against Gunther. At this point, I mean, he's got the hype for it. You got a few people in that pool you can kind of do. So please, all we asking, just do right by this man. I mean, we asking y'all, but at the same time, I think we know how y'all do. Anyway, uh, Mr. Exclusive, what's your thoughts? What you think, man? Because we ain't got much to talk about when it comes to Raw at this point. I'm
Well,
ready.
look,
I'm ready to
I,
move on after this.
it was a pleasant surprise. Like I was happy to see Jevon get the win, and I think that looking at the way WWE does things, and we talked about this on our man D Bland show the other day. They're
Shout
gonna
out
try to
Bland.
use. Shout out to Bland.
Shout out
So
to Black.
definitely had a good time on the show. I feel like this is something where they want to use him as the athletic. They always have that athletic person
Yeah,
of interest. We'll just say that.
like they did Montez.
Yeah, like they did Montez, and he's going to have a great elimination chamber. If anything, it's going to have him shine as a star. The question is, will WWE give him the push he deserves afterwards? We thought this was Montez's time, and it did not happen. It just did not happen, and we're still baffled. What, 2-3 years later, that it
Yeah,
still hasn't happened? So that's my concern: is will they do the same thing with him? I got a feeling they won't, but I feel like they're going to scale back on him. And that's the part I'm worried about. Instead of like pushing it forward. Now, I don't think he's going to win. I don't think none of us think he's going to win, but he does have a chance to establish himself, depending on who else is in the chamber, to make a name for himself. And I think that part is very, very important for him to continue his career. I was kind of surprised Gunther didn't win it, but I thought my choice actually was Dom. I thought Dom was going to win it because I feel like they were still trying to elevate, Dom a little bit, and he would be a fun, like, oh my God, like almost I'm afraid to be in the chamber, but I'm in the chamber type of character. So
yeah.
like he's getting beat up and stuff like that, but give him a chance to kind of elevate him amongst, some of the bigger stars. So I thought that may have been the route they went. So I was pleasantly surprised to see Jevon get it. And I'm happy for him. And this whole thing about the veterans of the game talking crazy, talking about he's not
Urban.
the Mr. Bojangles thing had me, like I said, that's one of the most racist things I've ever heard in my life. Now, look,
Yikes.
obviously, Bojangles, if for those who don't know, Mr. Bojangles was one of the greatest legendary tap dancers in history, and he happens to be African American. So a lot of people unfortunately use his name as, oh, he tap dancing for the white folk, or he's tap dancing for whatever. And so for him to use Mr. Bojangles, to me, is like and I'm going to take it back to a personal experience. When I was doing commercials for Walmart, people told me, "Oh man, he's too happy to be a black." I saw comments that said he was too happy to be a black person. This is not real. No black person is that happy. I remember seeing it and just being blown away. Like I'm like, so I
Ignorance.
can't be happy at work. I can't smile during a commercial because he's too happy. So I don't seem like a legit black person because of that. So when he said that, it bothered me because it took me back. That was like 2010 when that happened. It took me back, and I said, "That's crazy for him to say that to him." This kid's come out there, a lot of great energy, great smile. People love him. He does his thing in the ring. He's
Come on.
bouncy. Let's just call it what it is. And so for them to go out there and say this, or for Kevin Nash to say this about him, like, look, Kevin, you've done a lot for the business. You gave Raquel the nudge to say, hey, go out there and be big sexy. Great call on your part. She did a really good job at it, and then they took it away from her. or they pulled back on her when she was starting to like click. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. WWE was like build, and then pull it right back from you. They do it a lot. It's unfortunate.
Start and
But
stop.
that was my thing. Like, why do it? And then he was just like, he didn't even give a real apology. It just felt kind of like off.
Yeah,
He
saying,
was
"Oh,
like,
I should
I'm
have
just
said Uncle Tom or something like that."
yeah. But
You just digging the hole deeper for yourself,
exactly.
dummy. Yeah.
Like, dude, stop talking. Like,
Stop.
Mr. Bojangles, like I said, granted, one of the greatest tap dancers of all time, and I'm not throwing any shade at him, but people use that to talk bad about black folks, and so I don't like that. And then as soon as he said it, I was like, yo, that's not cool. It's not cool at all. But you know what? Javon's gonna push through it. We know the young OG is gonna do his thing. And if anything, he talks like the younger generation. So where do you get that he's not urban enough? He may not be our urban, you know, but he's younger generation urban.
Yeah,
That's the
Gen
way
Z.
that's the way that Gen Z talks. So he
Yeah.
sounds exactly like pretty much almost every young black man that talks in that form. So like just because he's not our, Tupac style, in our generation, that doesn't mean that he's not OG. He's just this generation's OG. And that's okay. So just Kevin Nash, sit back, bro. Like it pissed me off. I was like, bro, you talking crazy. But like I said, it just brought back bad memories, man. Jevon, keep doing your thing, bro. Don't listen to
Keep doing it, man.
sucker.
Yeah,
And that's for life. and that's for life.
I don't know, man. I just it's crazy to me. That this is something that even has to even be discussed. It's just like, oh my god, it's 2026.
Why is this happening?
Yeah, it's just. And then I think, and that also he said more urban, like Sol Ruca. That's it.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Sol Ruca doesn't even sniff urban.
Yeah, I don't.
She's not. She don't even look black. That's the thing.
But
and she is, but it's not like she's portrayed as one. Like it's like, oh, I'm a surfer. Come on, like,
yeah. You know what? Listen. I don't want to get into the weeds of the politics and the nonsense that goes on when it comes to like whatever. Just to jump back into Jevon Evans, who I know is going to do his thing regardless. I'm sure this is not the first time he's heard these comments and has probably heard worse comments. But to see him win and get the victory, that was a shocker because I did not expect him. I thought it would be Gunther. Just again, I talked about this on the Bland show. The way Gunther has been kind of being pushed so far this year. I 100% had Gunther winning this. So to see Jevon Evans get the W, I'm happy for him. But as I also said, I also know that WWE tend to like some super uber athletic person in an elimination chamber match, just somebody that can give you that half lion spot or whatever. We saw this with Montez Ford, and like you said earlier, nothing actually came from the performance that he gave in that elimination chamber match last year. And so I hope that we get more out of it, especially seeing what happened on Friday night, last night, when it came to who else is joining the elimination chamber match. And let me say, by the way, I think WWE is giving all of the talent to SmackDown, and they got a huge deal with Raw.
It's crazy.
With Netflix, I don't understand. Like, wow, like the strongest part of your talent is on SmackDown, and it's not spread across both brands. It's like SmackDown has all the tag teams. Raw doesn't really have as many. SmackDown has all of the huge solo push people, such as Cody Rhodes, the champion. I can't think of his name right now. Drew McIntyre. Yeah. You got Trick Williams. You got Carmelo Hayes. It feels like the ruler is on. He's on there. Now. Randy Orton, Malachi. Butts and Malachi Black. But but all of like the talent is like all on just SmackDown for me, and I'm like, I'm surprised they did not balance this out. And I don't know if they're ever going to have like a draft or were they going to reshuffle the rosters. But we need some more tag teams on SmackDown. On Raw to help out. And if the ruler's on SmackDown, I thought he would have been better on Raw because it would have just raised that
they needed
a little bit more. Yeah.
They needed him. So the weirdest thing about it is, like, usually the TV station or the network that is in control, like say for instance when ESPN pushed through to get the pay-per-view WrestlePalooza, which was trash by the way, but when they pushed through to make it happen, like the companies have pull. So why hasn't Netflix like pulled and said we want this person on the show? Maybe they have, but I feel like they haven't, because usually WWE will oblige. They will say, hey, look, and if they're getting the most money from Netflix, it doesn't make sense for Netflix not to be like, hey, we want so-and-so on our show. This is who we want on our show. If this is who they wanted on the show, this is the most insane thing to me, because You got all the great young talent down in SmackDown. SmackDown looks amazing right now. Like Raw looks unwatchable. It's to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, if Jevon
Extremely.
Evans and some other people weren't on there, like we're gonna like. I think Prince said earlier, we're gonna watch it because we're fans. Like no matter what, we're gonna watch the product, just to see what's going on, so we can either fuss about it or praise it. Real wrestling fans are gonna do that. We're gonna talk bad about it or we're gonna praise it. And it's just crazy that like maybe if I'm Netflix right now, I'm like saying, hey, look, you need to change this up because USA is getting everything.
Yeah,
USA is
they got
getting
all the women
everything.
too. Even the women's division on SmackDown
That's what I'm saying.
is stronger than Raw.
They have nothing.
Yeah.
What do they want on Raw? Like, what is Raw purpose at this point? Ever since
A
they went to
vision
Netflix,
with no vision. That's their purpose.
ever
the
since they went
purpose.
on, I think the last great show they probably had was what? When like real great show was when they first started. They've had some other ones in here mixed in, but Raw has been consistently a disappointment. That's not good. Then you see AEW out here doing the Daragone thing. Like, you guys, you got to start thinking. If it wasn't for SmackDown and NXT, like Knight said earlier, and like Eric said earlier, like, what are we doing here?
Shout out Swerve too.
Shout out to Swerve.
Yeah, shout out to Swerve.
Go all the way. Go all the way. I love
it. Man, when he dropped Omega, bro. I said, God dang! I seen he had to do Kenny like that, man. Somebody said, check his spine.
I said, not the wrestling golf.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
man.
Yeah,
but
crazy.
We talked about just the foolishness and the mid of what Monday Night Raw is. Now, time to talk about with that man Sean hooking it up with NXT.
Come on.
All right now, look, NXT, y'all did good. NXT, you did all right. Now, Sean, most of this show I loved, but y'all see that little banner at the bottom. You see what it says. Okay. Funny thing is, last night I got some DoorDash. You know what my DoorDash's name was? Zarya. I couldn't make this up. I said, this got to be a damn joke.
Boy, if you'd have came to that door with that face paint on, you'd be like, this is
I'd have been like, get up out of here. Turn on Sol now. Yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it because I actually really love how NXT started, man. They kicked this one off with Lola Vice going up my girl Lonnie, man. Look, I love this. Love the heel work that Kalani's doing. You see that real wrestling IQ working on the body part. Okay, Kalani really focusing on that hand, really took Lola out, made Lola tap out. I said, this is low-key symbolic. Low-key. But I loved it. I loved everything about that match, man. It was an instant classic. Let me flash forward. Joe Hendry. First, he came out talking about some little bit about Ricky Saints. You say his name, well, guess what? Pretty Ricky Saints appeared. Okay. I love what Ricky was saying. He said, nowadays in wrestling it's changed. He said, all you gotta do is get a little entrance music, make people love the entrance music, and that's about it. Nobody gives a damn about anything else. I said, Ricky, talk that talk, because that is really a real trend. I said, man, he ain't lying about that one. But they're gonna be having a match March 7th for that NXT title. Ricky Saints versus Joe Hendry. Let's see what happens with that, man. I can't wait. We flash forward. Man, come on. This ain't the Don no more, man. This is just Tony D'Angelo, the Avenger at this point. That's what I'm calling him. I don't even know. Or maybe the Revenger, because this is all he said. He's just getting vengeance. But literally starting up, going up against, what's my man's name? Because, he, for some reason, there's so, like, the one that sticks out to me in Dark State, the main ones that stick out to me is my man Saquon and Dion. And don't get me wrong, I do like Cutler James, but something about him. I'm gonna give him some more time. But yeah, Tony D'Angelo beating Cutler James, but then to the point he started actually, Dion tried to attack Tony. That didn't really work. Tony got to the point where he actually had Cutler laid out, okay, onto the steel step, and Dion pulled color right from there. I said, y'all are making Tony D'Angelo look dangerous, boy. Then we flash forward. Man, look, this was actually a really good match right here. This fatal four-way tag team match here. Okay. We had the Vanity Project going up against Hank and Take, the Culling, and OTM. With the Vanity Project winning in, I would say, classic Ethan Page fashion. You know, you fall, drop on somebody, get the pin. But honestly, I love this. I've been saying this when it comes to Vanity Project. I love their music. I've been saying that. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey,
I loved it, man. I loved it. But to see the Vanity Project getting that number one contender match, we're gonna see what happens with that. I'm not gonna lie, that might be all right. But OTM, man, they've been one that been getting me as well. Then we flash forward, man. All right. Now this is
I
where the
like
BS
it.
starts. Now, Soul, I ain't gonna lie, Soul kind of killed this on the mic. I said, what's this version of Soul? She had a great promo going up against JC Jane saying, I am better. You know that I'm gonna be better. JC Jane talking about, at one point she started to get jealous. She's a little jealous of Soul. I said, I mean, I get it. I understand that. I see what's going on. But what happened? Fatal influence attacking Sol Ruca. They started to beat the hell out of Sol. And then honestly, Zarya comes in. I'm thinking, all right, bet. Now you don't got to be a part of this group, but finish the damn job. No. She ended up spearing Fallon Haley, started beating the hell out of Laney Reed, beats the hell out of JC Jane. And then this happens.
Oh my God.
I, you know,
Oh my God.
Best friends.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
Bruh.
Just 1 minute. Oh,
You gotta be
I
kidding
never
me.
thought.
That's literally my expression in all three ways. Sean, what the hell? What the hell? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Again, when Zarya gets upset, I get so like when she's upset at Soul, I get so happy. I get excited. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's go, Zarya. Yeah, do your job. This is what we was talking about. Even when you told Soul you was done, said yes, yes, and you pull this. Now look. I'm going to give this a little bit of time because at the same
A
time,
little-
low key hot.
A
The
little bit
only
of
thing I'm
time.
gonna say is that about this, man. If Soul beats JC Jane, Zarya, I need you to pull a Kevin Owens. I need you to beat the hell out of Soul. Just beat the brakes off of her and have that title hanging above her like you ready, like you up next. Because it ought to be you. I just
Yeah. You know,
like y'all, man. I might have to start. I might have to get another clip of Cuba Gooding Jr. at Boys in the Hood when he's just throwing his fist. That might be my next one. I said, man, this is ridiculous.
Boys in the Hood classic.
yeah,
This is
man.
classic, man. I was sick to my damn. I said, Sean, you had me till you did this BS. Now again, this ain't no start and stop. And knowing Sean, I usually let you cook up because a lot of the times it makes sense.
Gourmet meals. Gourmet meals.
But it's like you keep playing this game of Zarya and Soul are friends. Now they not friends. Now we're gonna make them friends again. Now they're gonna be pissed at each other. Just pull the trigger and
Bruh.
just break them up.
So so here's a funny thing. Well, first I want to give a shout out to Soul because she said a line, I think, in the promo where she pretty much was telling she said something to JC Jane about like how like the title made her or something. It was something in that range. And I was like, that's a clean line that she threw. So I want to at least give her a shout out for that. Gotta give her a shout out for that. I wish I could remember it line from line. But the crazy thing about this whole thing, the more and more I think about it, I think they want people. I think Sol Ruca is gonna be the one that turns now. Like the way that they've done this is so weird to me. Like they had plenty of opportunity. Like what does this hold that Sol Ruca has over Zarya that she can't pull the trigger on this heel turn? Like what is the hold? Like make it happen. It's time. If we've been waiting for 2 years for a heel turn. I don't even know if she's been there 2 years. It feels like 2 years, at least a year and a half at the minimum. But this heel turn should have been happened. And like I sit there and I was like, this is it. This is where it's gonna happen. And then it doesn't. Then they hug at the end. But there's something that tells me they want you to think it's gonna be Zarya. I think Sol Ruca is gonna be the one that turns. And it's gonna be, and if they do that, I'm like, that's a complete flip of the script, because it gives vibes that, hey, Zarya is gonna be the one that do it. When is she waiting to do it? But if you think about it, Zarya has done some little things that maybe has gotten under Sol Ruca's skin, but she's looked past it. Like, I feel like if you do it, that's the way you do it. So everybody's gonna be like, oh, because they're gonna be so shocked that Sol did it and not Zarya. And so I think if you want to,
well, you called it a year and a half ago.
I did.
Sol being a heel. So
yeah. So if I'm telling you, if you're gonna do it, I think this is how you do it. I'm starting to hear that when they go to the main roster, they're going to change her music. I heard they're going to change her character. So if they end up, if they end up doing that, don't be surprised at the heel turn, because I just got a feeling that they may do it. If they don't give her the title or she loses, I feel like Sol's the one that turns. Because you got to think about it. Like, Zarya cost her the North American Championship. It's like there's a whole bunch of reasons why Sol could be the reason. She tried to, remember that time she tried to spear and then Lola saved her. Like, there's a lot of reasons why Sol should be the one that's upset, because Zarya has done some questionable things. So I think when it happens, it will be Sol and not Zarya. I think that's the way you go if you are if you're NXT. Like, Sean, you got to mix it up, because you teased us too long. This is like being in high school, a young man being teased by a girl, and you're like, man, look, I need a release here. What are we doing?
We got that was crazy.
Release. What do you got going on? I'm like, come on.
Oh man,
what are we doing?
Yeah, I say Sol with Sol and Ruca. Or Sol and Zarya. I think that if this right here, the way I was seeing this, is like Zarya is definitely getting ready to turn on Sol. I think when Sol, goes and has that match, Zarya is going to interfere and cost her. That's just kind of how I'm seeing it, just because of the fact that Zarya has she's been coming off as though she's fed up with Sol. And even in that little bit, she was telling JC Jane, get her up. Like she was really getting ready to, to spear her. I think they just wanted to give you that last little bit of, they're still together, they're still friends. And when it's time for this match between Sol and JC Jane, that's when Zarya is going to show you that she's not with Sol Ruca anymore. Vanity Project. Can I just say, music aside, these dudes here, they are killing it. The way that my man fell on that pin, it fell on the pin for the win, was just hilarious and classic. Very Ethan Page-esque. I think you hit it right on the head, E. And I love the fact that they have paired them with an Ethan Page and with Ricky Saints. Pretty Ricky, what they call him. But I love that pairing of those groups. I just think they mesh so well. And for all the intents and purposes, when NXT's kind of been gutted, when you talk about Trick leaving, Jevon leaving, Oba leaving, Sean is really just he's really held this mess down. And it's been great. And he's put the right people with each other, which is just like, it's perfect. But Vanity Project, they are dope. I can see them going far. And I want to talk about this match here really quick. Bland, what's going on, man? Thanks again for having us on your show earlier this week. We appreciate
it. Yes, sir.
Most definitely.
Yeah, man.
But this match right here, and just the way that this was, I love this because how technical it was between Lonnie and Lola Vice. And I just like the fact that the whole time, you rarely see that these days, in matches, where a wrestler would just work on a body part the whole entire time.
Old
And
school.
they just kept bringing attention to it. Oh, her hand, the way she just, and every attack was centered around that hand. And then she put her in that submission move that just looked awkward and painful. And then she had to tap. I was like, you know what? I really felt like that match was dope. You know, I kind of rock with that. That was a really good match between Lola and Kalani. And I thought you would have the picture of Lonnie like when she was on all four after she got out the pin E, because I was like, that's an E shot right there. That's a money shot. She had that devilish look, and I said, oh yeah, she did some. She did. I mean, she was just mean.
Come on, man. I loved it.
Lonnie.
I loved it.
My girl,
Lonnie. That was
Lonnie.
really good. And then Ricky Saints, man, I've been enjoying him. I still just, the fact that it's all his own fault is what I just can't get over. And the way he's acting as if it was taken from him, and it was his own fault. He had the match. I keep saying that, but it's just, but it's leading to great stuff. And I absolutely love the feud there with Ricky Saints and Joe Hendry. I'm excited to see how that all plays out. But yeah, I think NXT, they are absolutely killing it. JC Jane, want to give her some credit. Her mic promo this week was also really good. Talking about how she's been overlooked and all of that type of stuff. She held two brands down and all this kind of stuff. But Sol Ruca keeps getting all of the opportunities. She's the golden girl. And so yeah, it is what it is. But I dug JC Jane. I could feel where she was coming from, but I'm still Team Soul.
Yeah,
man.
Good. Few other things we got to touch on from this NXT show, man. We had that match, this eliminator match, man, with Eli Knight, long lost cousin Xclusive, and I would say that against Ilio LaFleur in that speed tournament match. Now this ended in a draw, to the point where Robert Stone declared that this is actually going to be a triple threat match. And this match is going to be 7 minutes. And I said, well, I mean, we're going to do 7 minutes because 3 people, I guess. I mean, but hey, I get it. We got to keep it going. But then we flash forward. Oh, man, I ain't going to lie. So this was the main event. Shiloh Hill going up against Ethan Page. Now, Shiloh, hey, I ain't going to lie. Low-key cleared house, a vanity project. But to the point to where, this is Ethan Page we're talking about. Had the vanity project getting the dub over Shiloh. Now, what was interesting, Miles Bourne. I think he's about to be in the new. Look like they trying to make him the new Randy. Okay, he kind of snuck Ethan Page, and you see what he's got going on. Had the steel chair linked to the ankle. Ethan begging him, please don't do it. I'll give you a match. Pleaded, said all that. Then when Miles said, nah, I'm going to walk away, Ethan said, I knew you couldn't do it. Okay, bet, say less. Ethan Page still gets his ankle stomped through the chair. And honestly, Miles Bourne telling Ethan he's going to be taking that title from him. And this is the finish right here. Now again, Ilio LaFleur and Eli Knight, great match. Love what they did. But yeah, hey, that match with Shiloh Hill and Ethan Page, I thought was an absolute banger. And then the finish of it, Miles Bourne, I'm liking the story, the character development going on with him. I think they got something solid with him. So yeah, I think this was good. Great way to end NXT. Makes me think maybe Miles Bourne might be up next. So we'll see what happens with it, man. I think NXT overall, good show, of course, except for the Zarya and Sol situation that pissed me off. But I'm going to wait a few more. Sean, you got a few more weeks, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it is obvious that y'all be listening to us because every time we say something, y'all make the changes. So I'm gonna give you a few more weeks. After that, I'm gonna tell you right now, glasses come off, do-rag. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed.
Hey, if the do-rag's coming off, business is in order.
I'm telling you, man. It's gonna be like that, man. Crazy Kyle, and y'all know how Crazy Kyle was with Marcel Bartel, also known as Louis Kaiser. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, Sean. If you do this, This is legitimately gonna be me every week until you fix this.
You suck! You suck! You suck! You suck! You suck! You suck! Marcel Bartel! You suck!
And I just
I
thought
remember
to
it like it
myself,
was yesterday. It
and
never
I
gets
thought to
old.
myself, how symbolic that the NXT brand name was right there. So I'm telling you right now, Sean, that will be me if you pull this bull with Zarya and Sol. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you
If
right
you
now,
Martel
man.
Bartel,
It was so great, bro. Like
do
I
you
promise you,
do you
Eve,
just
you could
think at
have
the end
been
of the
there,
day,
bro.
maybe I do suck?
Eric had me crying, man. Eric was sitting there like, "Yo, this guy's going insane right now."
He's going crazy, bro. I'm
Crazy
telling
thing,
you,
man.
crazy man.
Crazy
That's a
cow,
different
baby.
crazy cow, man. That's a
Good
different.
times.
That's a different type of energy right there, man. Different type of energy. You got to be that pissed off. I'm telling you, you got to
Yeah,
be.
man. That thing was crazy. I will say this. So, quick thing about the Speed Championship. Can we just get rid of him, or can we just change the name? Like, can they make it just a TV title? Like, it feels so irrelevant. I mean, there's been some irrelevant titles in WWE history, 24. Even though R-Truth did his best to make it great, and he's a 56-time champion, which is insane work. But I just said, like, if you're gonna have a secondary, another single, title, just change it. Like, make it the TV title. Just it's an ugly belt. The stipulations to me don't even feel real because I'm like, okay, you got 3 minutes to win this match. If that was the case, I feel like every match should probably be that way. I don't know. It just feels like it. The concept doesn't make sense to me. I know why they tried to do it initially, but just please, just get rid of this title, man. I mean, it's just so bad. Like, I don't know. It's just bad. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Ethan Page, man. Like, hey, Ethan, my guy. Like, I'm about the ego, man. My man has done a phenomenal job as North American champion. Yes, he
Ego.
has done a phenomenal job as North American champion. He was a great NXT champion for the little time he had that. But he has found like his mark. Like he is like everything he's done since he left AEW and then NXT has been amazing. I would hate to even say this, but I don't even think I want him to go to the main roster. Like, just keep him down in NXT. He is killing it, and I know that's wrong for him. I know he wants to get that glory at some point, but man, he's been a masterpiece down there. Like he's been great. If you're gonna do it, you got to move him to SmackDown with Chelsea. When she gets healthy again. But they have great chemistry together. Just don't, please, goodness, don't ruin Ethan. Keep. I don't know, guys. I get worried. You know how we used to get worried about certain people going to the main roster. Like, there's some worries. Like, there's a couple in my mind. I'm like, man, please don't go up there and ruin this person. I'm worried. He's definitely one of them. I'm like, can't do that. Kalani, when she gets her chance to go up there, worried about that. Lola Vice, when she gets a chance to go up there, worried about that. Jada Parker, same dream, just worried. Like I think Blake Monroe's going to be fine, which is crazy, but I feel like she's going to be fine when she gets up there. But there are others that I'm just like, nope, scared, worried,
Too raw,
don't
too
want.
real, too organic. Yep.
Yeah, yep. Ricky
Too much star
Saints,
power, just in NXT. That says a lot.
yep. Ricky Saints, same thing, just nervous. Tony D. I that's probably half of the people, but I get worried because I see the direction up top and can't be excited what's going to happen when those guys get moved up. Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm
He'll
worried
get
about
lost quick.
my man will be on main event. They had Oba on main event the other day, kind of threw me off when I saw it. I was like, oh, but I let that one fly. But yeah, I don't. Nope. I'm so sorry. Nope. Sorry, I can't do it. Nope.
Heartbreak Prince, you got any thoughts? What you think about this, man?
No, Elio LaFleur and Eli Knight. I'm glad we get to see him another week for the Speed Championship. Jasper Troy is going to throw a wrench into everything because he's more of the like get in the ring and just destroy you, big dude, that type of thing. But I really think Eli Knight and Elio LaFleur, those two together, I like that combination. I can see them end up being a tag team or having some type of because they have just good chemistry together. And that match that they had, even though it was only 3 minutes, was really good. The fact that they're gonna get 7 minutes this week hey, I'm here for it. These two right here are just I got my eye on them just because I just think they're excellent talents. Like they're just uber athletic, and I don't know. There's something about them, man. And I'm excited to see them go at it again. Even though I still think Jasper Troy's gonna keep the title.
Yeah, look.
Jasper Troy.
Yeah, Eli Knight is Eric Knight's brother from another mother. So
Eli Knight, LA Knight, my man Kevin Knight. There's a lot of us out here.
It's just Knights all over the place. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
They're good, man. The Knights are not the same.
That's right. Come on now. Oh man. But we talked about some of the great things that happened with NXT. Now it's time to talk about the best part of the end of the week with Friday Night Smackdown. All right. Smackdown. Look, I've said this before. We've been saying this for the last month, 2 months. Literally, the reason why I say it's the best part of the end of the week when it comes to the main roster, SmackDown is the better show. And that just proves everything. I mean, the star power, who they got, the storylines, it makes sense. Road Dogg. Hey, as long as you ain't trying to throw truth into something else and you don't know what to do, Besides that and Chelsea Green, I'm all for it. Let's talk about it, man. They kicked this off, first of all, Cody Rhodes. Okay, Cody Rhodes was talking about, what do you want to talk about? Yeah, I'm in Elimination Chamber. Jacob Fatu, the man with the magic boot. Okay, you see what happened. All right, comes out, tells Cody, you shouldn't do all this celebrating. Excuse me. But we all know, let's keep it 100. I said, come on, Jacob. That's what I like for you to say right here. If it wasn't for Drew, I'd be the one going to the chamber. I said, you damn right. Damn right. Drew coming out and said, I love how everybody wants to talk about the chamber. And I said, yeah, you right. I said, come on, Drew. Talk that talk. Comes out and pretty much just says this whole spiel. Now, it got to the point where Jacob Fatu got so pissed off, he was ready to run to that damn crowd. But Nick Aldis telling him, look, I can't have you do this. Think about this. You'll have your opportunity. Just let it simmer. I said, come on, Nick. Don't be out here giving broken promises out here. Okay? That's not what the man with the magic boot likes to hear. So we'll see what happens with that, man. We will see. Then we flash forward. Come on, man. This was
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, Tama been on a roll lately, man. But we had Tama Tonga beating Ilya Dragunov. Now, I ain't gonna lie, man. Everybody in the MFT's pretty much had an involvement with this. Honestly, to the point to where, I feel like Tama kind of had this one after he had, a situation with Ilya Dragunov. But again, after that match, Solo. I love this, man. Solo was talking about pretty much everything with the Y6, how they are still the ones that run SmackDown. But the Y6, they respond to that. Okay, and when they responded, they said, look, this isn't over. Those tag team titles come out. I said, come on, bro, please. I don't even know anymore. Let's just move forward. Anyway, then we flash forward. Jade Cargill. Now, I thought this was interesting. She just pretty much said, she's that. You know what it is. And, she says everybody talks about me being a champion and I fight when I want to and all this, that, and third. But Jade, I ain't gonna lie, that's not a good look. For you to say that, I just didn't like that. Again, I get the promo, but at the same time, Jade, please, let them know why you're the champion and keep defending that, girl. You gotta show them why.
Man, she killing that outfit though.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. Then we flash forward.
Good God, man.
We flash forward to this triple threat match. Now, I thought this was now again a shocker. Somebody's listening. I don't know who it is. Might be Road Dogg. One of y'all are. We had said that this would pretty much look predictable, but Kiana James, first of all, it looked like Charlotte was going to be getting that. She had the figure 8 locked in. Okay, and I said, all right, Charlotte. Well, if you win, I guess this makes sense because you're in the damn commercial anyway. But we had Nia Jax also in the match, and now Charlotte is hitting the figure 8 on Nia Jax. Kiana James kind of slipped up under Charlotte and getting a rolling pin, and now she's qualified for Elimination Chamber. I said, well, wow, hot damn. This is a shock. We'll see. We'll see.
Man,
Then
she
we
looked just
flash
like her
forward.
mom, bro. That ain't crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
She looked just like her mom. Crazy.
Now, I thought this was interesting. Kit Wilson, all right, giving another poem to Ova. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some of the stuff in the poem I thought was a little sus, but again, Ova, you did your thing. Ova taking Kit Wilson. I mean, honestly, this was another squash match, but for some reason, the chemistry between these two is just maybe sick. But no, I loved it. I loved it. Over Femi getting the dub over that man, Kid Wilson. And honestly, it was a great match overall. Then we flash forward. Man, I don't even know why we did this. We had good old Tiffy time
Oof.
beating Elba Fire. And honestly, man, I just, I love the whole feud that they got with Chelsea Green. Again, Chelsea Green is probably the best part about this. Her coming out with the wheelchair, with the boot, looked like she got herself a magic boot. So we'll see how that magic even works. But I mean, honestly, just for Tiffany, just to have a match at this point, I guess that's why we did this. No real surprise. I wasn't really too impressed about this. Then we flash forward. This little backstage segment here. Now we've seen the return of B-Fab popping up
I
on Jade.
like
Jade taking pictures, Meechin, walking up on Jade, kind of had the little, she had the kendo stick, kind of made Jade flinch a couple times. I said, come on, I don't like that. You can't be having Jade flinching. Yeah, I get it. The first time, yes. But I'm talking about a few weeks ago when she was beating the hell out of Jade Cargill with the, with the kendo stick, but not to have her
That's
like this
excellent.
again. But Meechin said, look, I'm not done with you. I'm coming for that title, and it's mine. I said, Meechin, I love you to death, but I couldn't even believe this. I ain't even gonna cap. Then we flash forward. Come on, man.
That's trick.
Come on,
Yeah.
man. Come on, man. Trick beat. Now, this was a great triple threat match. We had Carmelo Hayes, Damian Priest, and Hollywood Trick. First class Trick. Two brand Trick. Trick-and-A. Come on. Trick Willy Wonka. Trick Willie. I loved it. I loved it. Look, the whoop that trick chants are going crazy. I done told people, if y'all don't know about the whoop that trick chants, you done lost your damn mind. But I love this all for Trick, man. I love this. We got to keep moving forward with this, man. Look, now, this match here, Rhea going up against Julia. I thought to myself, well, what is really the case here? What is really the whole purpose of this, right? But I mean, this was really by just via disqualification. Only reason why is because Nia Jax was there. Now I loved it. Love to see how Lash came in, gave Rhea the big boot. They started to beat the hell out of Rhea, but Io comes, saves the day. And honestly, that's just how that was looking after that. Yeah. Then we flash forward to Cody
Oh God.
and Sammy. Now, Sammy, I'm kind of getting sick of this whole teasing heel turn stuff with it. With just, I think WWE in general. I don't know why we're teasing it if we're not going to go through with it.
This is so Ruca to the main roster.
No, for real. I mean, honestly, yeah, Sammy saying, Cody, you got in the way. I tried to help you. I tried to do as much as I can. I didn't see you really return the favor. You kind of just took it all for yourself. Pause. I said, all right. I mean, this is something we're trying to work towards, but I guess it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we flash forward to the main event. Aleister Black, Randy Orton. Now I love this. Drew coming out, hitting Randy with the title. You see how Randy looked. That man damn near looked dead. And I said this before. I said this before with Drew McIntyre being one of the top 3 runners in pro wrestling, next to Don Callis, MJF, and honestly, Drew has legitimately solidified that spot.
Track star.
Man, he is a track star, man. That man took off. Cody tried to follow, tried to find him, didn't work. Randy coming back in the ring, getting hit with a black mask, and honestly, Aleister Black beating Randy Orton. And this is the finish right here. Now, I feel like this might have been a low point show. I ain't gonna cap, bro. Like there was some good stuff. There was entertaining parts. I do feel like there were some little some low hanging fruit ends of segments of parts here. Um, you know, I love Jade, I love Meechin, I love BFAB. I don't know, man. I feel like they have run my girl Meechin down to the ground. It's kind
No,
of it's sad because when I think
no.
about what Meechin and it's like I know last week we talked about Jordan Grace. I feel like Meechin's in that same spot.
Mm.
Y'all ain't give her no
Yep.
title at all, multiple title shots, title opportunities, but she has nothing to show for it, and that's what kind of sucks about it. Same thing with Jordan Grace, and I hope to God that doesn't happen with Jevon. But this is kind of I feel like it's a trend when you don't get any title reigns or anything on NXT, and then they bump you up to the main roster. They just kind of have you as a worker, somebody that's like,
Mm-hmm.
as Michael Hayes would say, oh, somebody that'll just kind of get other people over. Yeah, no, we're not gonna keep doing that. Um, Sammy and Cody, whatever. I don't even give a damn about Sammy. I've been said this. I'm done. I'm done with Sammy. Sammy is
Done with this
just
guy.
I don't know, man. He's just kind of just is what it is with him. Uh like to see what Oba was doing. Granted, I think we need to kind of I don't want him to keep doing this whole thing with Kit Wilson for too much longer. Now I get it. We didn't had the 2-3 weeks. Kit, whoa, son. We didn't had a few weeks with Oba and Kit. Now that this is done, because granted, the first time that Oba beat the hell out of Kit wasn't even for an actual match, or was it? I don't even remember at this point. But now we've had another match. So let's kind of dead this. Let's move on. And like Kit Wilson keep talking about other people with their own toxic masculinity. Trick. Come on, bruh.
That's
I'm just glad.
true.
I'm glad to see you in it. Excuse me. Anytime I talk about tricks, I'm getting a little choked up. Oh God. I think it's excuse me. I'm so emotionally attached, right? I'm emotionally attached. So
Ashley is sending everybody to Raw.
Ash's doing everybody the wrong note.
Everybody going to Raw.
she's saying everybody to Raw.
You ain't no good.
Just
Go to Raw.
Go to Raw. They need all the entertainment they can get.
Everybody going to Raw.
Everybody get out of here.
Everybody. But yeah, Trick. Love the fact that you got the dub. Hey, look, we got Jevon and Trick in the Elimination Chamber. Not gonna lie, Oba should be in that realm too, but can't ask for too much. Hey, we got two of them in there. I guess we just gotta settle for that. But love to see that. Kiana James, big shock again. Seems like y'all listen to what we said. We told you, look, y'all making this too predictable. Now at this point, y'all just pulling things out. Kiana, yeah,
This is the
She's-
one.
So,
You know,
so I got a theory on that real quick, E, just to
Mhm.
butt in.
yeah.
I think that was a last minute change. I think Jade messed up in her promo because if you listen to her promo, she named all the wrestlers that was going to be in the Elimination Chamber, and she named Charlotte Flair, but Charlotte Flair hadn't had the Elimination Chamber match to entrance match to get in. She said, y'all, all these girls are going to be in the Elimination Chamber trying to figure out who's going to face or me. Will it be Charlotte Flair? Will it be, so on and so on? She named all of the winners that are in the Elimination Chamber match. And I caught that and I said, but Charlotte hasn't had her match yet. So you just told me Charlotte's winning, which I had already expected Charlotte to win anyway when you looked at the people that was, in the match for the Elimination Chamber.
Mhm.
So to see Kiana James get that, I said that had to be a last minute change. There's no way they booked that for Kiana James initially to win to go to the Elimination Chamber. What push? Don't get me wrong. I think Kiana James has been killing it as far as times we've gotten to see in the Royal Rumble, the little matches we've been seeing as of late. But there's been no actual push there. She hasn't been in like a main thing on SmackDown for the last like few weeks, like talking about. And you talk about the Elimination Chamber where you generally would have your big wigs, your Charlotte Flairs, your Alexa Blisses, your so on and so forth, your Rhea Ripley's, all that kind of stuff. So that's just my theory. That right before that match happened, because Jade named Charlotte Flair as one of the people in the Elimination Chamber, they had to change that, and that's why we got the surprise that we got. But I could be wrong, but it just, to me, when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, they hadn't even had their match, and she said Charlotte Flair, so whatever. But with Jade though,
funny.
With Jade, It is, and I think Bland put a message up earlier about like her not, you know, coming out like and defending the title. Just another week of her coming out and talking on the mic, and you kind of hit on it as well. Uh, I still just think that they've just done a terrible job with the booking of Jade. I feel like she by now the that saying should be over. And it would have been over had they had been booking her in squash matches, and she finishes those squash matches with that same exact phrase, because then it catches on. She's that and it's just her booking has just been so bad,
But the thing is, they got time to fix it. They still have time to fix it, but it's gonna be too late.
They're wasting time. They're wasting time.
And at this point, and at this point, I think, I wonder how much of it they were expecting to have Bianca and with everything that's going on with Bianca. Because now it's like, well, who does she really have to feud with? It's obvious Liv is going to pick Stephanie Velcro. And so, it's going to have to end up being like a Rhea Rip, like somebody. Now, a Raquel would be great because these two ladies have been kind of, and you can kind of put Raquel in that, start giving her, that push or whatever, and have a good match between two strong, women. But I don't know. I just don't know. They don't have, and she doesn't have a good storyline feud with anybody. It's
Well,
and the thing is too. I'm hold on.
No, go ahead.
And then I'm gonna let you go. One thing I thought about too, even when Jay was cutting that promo, I was said, "Wow, you named every single woman in the WrestleMania commercial." I keep making this so. I'm again. Just spoil it for me. Why don't you, Jay? Just go ahead, Mr. Xclusive. You got it, bro. I just had to say that. That just
well, when you look at it, it's just like the hurt. So we've dealt with now. Who was the last WWE Women's Champion that was relevant? I want you to really think about it. The last WWE Women's Champion that has been relevant. I can't even tell you.
Probably Becky Lynch when she was running as the man.
So probably as the man.
So over with the crowd.
Yeah, it's so crazy because now you look at it. Let's see. Nia Jax had the title for a while.
Yep.
She ended up losing it to Tiffany. Tiffany had the belt for a while.
Wow.
She ended up losing it to Jade. And so we've had 3 straight at the minimum, and there could be somebody before then, but they've had 3 straight title reigns with the WWE Championship and no real storylines. They've been stuck in a place. Like when Nia had the belt, it was just her going up against, like, she was going against people, but it was like 1 or 2 people, and it wasn't like there was no real competitors. She just had the belt. And the real thought was, we're just waiting for Tiffany to cash it in on her. So then what happens? Tiffany gets the belt. She gets it, and she gets no real storyline. They try to force that Charlotte Flair on storyline in WrestleMania last year, and yeah, they had a match, but that was about it. And then, like, she had the belt after that for a couple more months before Jade took it, and it was still just stale. And now they're doing the same thing to me with Jade, but worse, because they're not giving her any matches. And I'm like, they didn't even have to put the title on the line, right? They didn't even have to put the title on the line. Just have her fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you're the champ. You don't have to defend it all the time. But I think a lot of people got to the point where it's like, you're not defending it. And on top of that, you're not wrestling. So it's like, we want to see the best for Jade because she like physically looks, everything else, promo, but she has pretty much what they want, the look, but they're not doing anything to help her take that next leap. They don't even need Bianca if they did this the right way. They didn't even need Bianca if they did this the right way. And we've been saying it for months. We said it when she got the title. What was the first thing we said? AJ Prince, you hit on it. You bring people up from NXT. You give people a chance in the ring. You squash match. You Goldberg her until you have a couple matches where she's like extended matches. But you Goldberg her every opportunity you get. You put people in front of her. She put them down. You put people in front of them. You put them down. I don't care if they 3 or 4 minute matches. I don't care. Like her vibe. A lot of people say, "Oh, she's just like Goldberg," or she's not even like Goldberg right now because they're not even letting her wrestle. Like, she should be beating up women every opportunity she gets. You know what I'm saying? And they don't do that. So what they've done is they set her up. They set her up without even, they just put her in a really bad spot. Like, they set her up. Like, she had all the potential. People were excited that she won the belt. That's like, okay, now let's see what she can do. And they've done nothing. They've done nothing with her. And it's so unfortunate because she has the look of what a great WWE champion could be. She has it. You know what I'm saying? She turned heel. And I'm like, okay, now she's turning heel. She's got to be. No.
Nope.
You know,
Not at all.
maybe they give B-Fab. I still think if you're going to do this, maybe you put B-Fab and Meechin with her at this point. They've got to do something. You know, especially if they want her to have and unless they want her to have the belt long term. But the way I got the vibe, I think Tiffany's going to win this Elimination Chamber, and they're going to give Tiffany the title back. And I agree with 100% what Ashley said earlier, because she took it out before I even had a chance to say it. They need to turn Tiffany heel because she was a way better heel, an extremely better heel than when she was a face. Like, her character was perfect. It was like a similar like what Blake Monroe was kind of doing, but different form. You know, I'm the uppity, you know, tennis club, all that, whatever stuff she was doing at NXT. They need that from her. And I know everybody can't be heels, but certain people their character are built to be heels. Jay's, to me, his character is built to be healed. Her character is built to be healed, to be a heel. You got to do these things, man. It's just insane to see it. And I'm like, we all see it, but they're like, just do it anyway. What? They hate us. They hate us. It's that simple. They hate us. They know they're going to keep coming back, so it doesn't matter. We come back because we want to fuss. We don't want to fuss, though. We want to enjoy it. That's the only reason we keep coming. We want to enjoy it.
I think a part of me is like, I watch it because I have a little bit of a delusional hope, thinking this could get better. And keep people asking, why do you keep? I have this delusional hope because in my head, I'm like, I can see how much better this can get. And y'all still disappoint. I'm sick of this.
It's insane.
I'm sick of this.
Shout out to Jeff. Jeff Campbell. I do think a Raquel versus Jade match would be fire.
Yes.
And I think they could build to something like that. Something else really quick, guys. I don't know how much longer we're gonna go. I know we coming right up on it. But the elimination match with Trick Williams, Damian Priest, and Carmelo Hayes. For as excited as I was about that match, it was a very awkward and clumsily done match to me. I felt like there were too many times it was like they were waiting on each other for moves, like the chemistry and everything. It wasn't as fluid. And
I'm not gonna say it's because of Damian, but
I was about to say it's probably because of
Damian.
Damian. It has to be, right?
Yeah, because it seemed like people were constantly late to their spots, and it kept taking me out because I could see like Carmelo Hayes up on a rope, literally waiting for Damian to get there to say, I'm like, bruh, you had like 8 to 10 seconds. You could have just did your move, did something, you know, like it was bothering me, you know, that they were that, like, it was that clumsily done, you know, it was like, you know, because it really took me out of it. And because it just, I was really looking forward to that. And I just, like I said, I just don't think that match delivered the way it needed to. And even some of the chemistry between Carmelo Hayes and Trick was a little bit off. And you know, it just, I don't know, something was not there. And you had those nights sometimes where it's just things are just a little off. You know, you can't quite, you know, get it together or whatever. And so, but I'm still happy to see that Trick won and is going to the Elimination Chamber. But I really wanted more of something between Carmelo and maybe Trick to kind of develop from this elimination match. They would have something like that, some type of you know, feud, but really didn't get that story. So you know, I was just kind of disappointed by that overall in the delivery. And then lastly, Sami Zayn and it's like that. I thought they were going to something with Sami Zayn and this promo, and he initially started with Cody, and Cody flipped the script on him. And by the end of it, the crowd I heard chanting, "Sami Zayn sucks." I said,
"Yes, good job, heel turn. Let's go."
This is absolutely. And I said,
blame
you know,
Trick. This is Trick. Trick started this.
But the best was Trick coming up when after the thing between Cody and Trick popping into the screen. I ate. Also, shout out to the way they did my boy Trick. The camera started off with him getting out the car, and all you saw was the lemon pepper stepper.
Yeah,
you already knew what time it was. But Trick popping in on Sami Zayn every time he's down in the dumps and said, "I'm about to do what you can't go, what you can't do, Sammy." You know, and he did. He went out there and he won. He won the match. So,
yeah, it's time. Cut his hair. make them heel.
Yeah.
I mean, just change them completely. Like it's time. It
Yeah.
is completely beyond time. Sami Zayn is just, and I hate that I dislike Sami Zayn now. I hate it because 2 years ago I was all for Sami, and now I'm just like, I'm tired of him. I don't want to be around him, and I don't hate him as a wrestler. He's a great wrestler. That's the problem. They don't know what to do with his character, and that happens way too often in the WWE where they don't know what to do with somebody's character. Ashley said something. There it is, right there.
That's what I was about to say. What do y'all think about this? I agree.
Yeah.
They need more female producers in the room, and they just don't have it. I know they just brought Jazz in to go to be down in NXT, to be a trainer. So why are we not bringing some of these, the Beth Phoenixes in the world? And she may not go now because of where Edge is at and all that stuff, or Adam Copeland, or Cope, whatever way you want to put it. So. But I feel like you need to bring these styles of, but not like the Bellas. You can't use the Bellas for producers. You got to have people that are good wrestlers. Like I feel like Natty one day will be a great producer if they do right. But they definitely need a couple of female producers in there that kind of can get in the mind of what the females are thinking. You know what I'm saying? Heck, they can't even get the men right. What makes you think they're going to get the women right? So like I already know that I agree with you 100% on that. Kiana James. I wanted to say this about Kiana James. I thought that Kiana, this is great for her. You know what I'm saying? First of all, she looks just like her mom. I didn't know she was black until a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to Kiana James. Had no clue she had some melanin in her. Had no clue. She was passing, brother. Like imitation of life all day. She was passing. Her and Sol Ruca, they could be sisters at this point. Wouldn't even know it. They like didn't even know they were sisters. I'll put it that way. But I thought she did a great job. I love the fact that they're kind of like pushing her along, and maybe if she does win the chamber, she can go back and say, you know what, not Bianca, but you know what, Jade, I remember when you named everybody else but me. I was the one that you didn't name, and and now I'm the one that's facing for. I just threw that when HP Prince said it. I said that would be slick. So that
and creative,
and creative, but they don't creative. Do they know what that is? Well, I don't know. But the last thing I want to say is with Oba and Kit. I like this. I do agree with E. They've got to end this like probably now. This is probably the time. But what I think it did for both people is it did not make Kit Wilson look bad, and actually, if anything, I think it actually elevated him just a little bit more. Obviously, it keeps Oba from looking dangerous and who he is. And I think they did a really good job with both guys, like elevating him in these last couple of weeks. Even in the losses for Kit Wilson, people still love Kit Wilson. Music alone and the promo, his whole everything is working. So like shout out to Kit Wilson, shout out to Oba. They did a really good job with that. But that's what we need more in the WWE. Like even if it's a bad thing for you, you can still, or it doesn't look good on, physical, but hey, you're still elevating your game on top of that. We get too much of the opposite where people their game doesn't get elevated and it just falls to the floor. So yeah, I just wanted to give Kiana James, Kit Wilson a little love on that because I felt like especially Kit, they've done a really good job the last couple of weeks. So shout out to him on that.
Yeah, man.
And that's true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But as always, please make sure y'all follow all of our social medias. I tell y'all this all the time. Y'all already know what it is. Facebook, we on that. X, we on that. Instagram, we on that. TikTok, we on that as well. Hey, appreciate all the love and support y'all been giving us, man. Look, one of our videos on TikTok when we was talking to the OG almost hit about 10K views. So hey, shout out to y'all. So yeah, man. And then of course, hey, shout out to Heels for Life. Chris had him on there on nighttime. Shout out to my man BJ. Shout out to Ladybug, OV 13, all my people, all my family on TikTok. I love you guys. And again, shout out to all our watchers and our viewers. Look, I tell y'all this all the time. Make sure y'all keep liking, keep subscribing, keep throwing those content, keep throwing those comments, and we're gonna keep giving you that content the exclusive way. Come on, man. Y'all already know what it is.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Bland. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate y'all being in here today.
My man, Jeff. Man. Shout out to man Jeff Campbell, man.
Shout out to Jeff.
Big legacy supporter for a long time. I gotta give shout out to my man Jeff.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. But as always, we talked about some of the mid things that happened on Monday Night Raw. But the only good thing was seeing that man Jevon. We talked about some of the great things that happened with NXT. Sean cooking up. Well, we seen what happened with Ethan Page. and of course some of the things that happened with my girl Lonnie. And you know we had to talk about SmackDown, man. You know how that goes, a whole good thing. But the best part about it, of course, was Hollywood Trick, Two Brand Trick, First Class Trick, Trick and A, Trick Willie. Come on now. Come
Trick
on.
Willie.
Bro, what?
Oh man. But as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We had the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive, and we had the one man and the only man that could check into the Heartbreak Hotel. That's Heartbreak Prince himself. Because we are the exclusive nights, and we always ensure that we are the best there is, the best there was, and the best that ever will be.
You know
and
it.
to always ensure that your nights will never be the same.
Be the same.
Y'all be good. Be safe.
We're out of here, son. We're out of